Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It is me, Ben Barnes, back to talk about how we do in fact have potential for prosperity. Yes, it is the same night, same episode, can you tell by the fabulous hair with the Fresca? Woo! Let us continue. The email for today is going to be called Edify Yourself Upon Christ. It is March 6th, 2023. This week has been frustrating. In my mission, we have a minimum standard called 1 by 1. Baptize one person per month per missionary. Create 2 new investigators, teaching a lesson and scheduling the next, and obtain 3 member referrals every week. While these standards are meant to push us, they've created a culture where you are judged if you don't hit them. I haven't baptized anyone in over 2 months. For the first month, I struggled with a companion I didn't work well with and wasn't exactly obedient. However, these past 2 weeks, I have worked harder than ever before. I am more exhausted and sore now than I ever was during my 2 years as a gym maniac. And despite the pressure, I know that the mission is about the Lord's work. In places like Africa, missionaries might baptize 25 people a day, while in Europe, a missionary might go their entire 2 years without a single baptism. Both are incredible servants of God. The reason we work so hard is to witness the life-changing power of the gift of the Holy Ghost. I remember my last 2 baptisms. Before being baptized, the converts awkwardly and quietly through the hymns, not knowing how to participate. After they were confirmed and received the Holy Ghost, we sang the closing hymn. Both of them sang louder and with more passion than anyone else in the room, wearing huge smiles. That transformation is why missionaries exist. We've been teaching a guy I'll call Frank. He is stubborn about his religious beliefs, but very sweet. One night, we were 8 minutes late to his house. He teased us about it and invited us into his kitchen. He doesn't have enough chairs, so he sat on the floor, saying he should be beneath us because we were teaching him. We had prepared a huge plate of 8 French bread sandwiches and a 2-liter bottle of Coke, all ready 30 minutes before the appointment. He's amazing, and I am determined to see him baptized this week. We are also teaching a 16-year-old girl named Eve. Her home situation is very difficult. Her parents are not married and are heavily addicted to cigarettes and coffee. Her father often makes jokes about marriage, saying if his partner doesn't want to marry him, he'll just marry someone else. One day, we arrived to find the door frame of their apartment shattered. Eve calmly explained that her father had gotten into a fight with her mother and tried to hit her. Her mother defended herself by throwing a glass of coffee at him and then hitting him with a hammer. The father slammed the door so hard it broke as he left. Eve told us this as if it were completely normal. It's a reminder to be grateful for what we have. We were helping the sister missionaries with an investigator named Rick, who has a paralyzing fear of water. During a night of integration, or mutual night, we took him into a private room to conduct a baptismal interview. My companion asked if he had felt he had repented of all of his sins. Rick looked at us and said, 45%. When my companion followed up by asking if he had ever committed a major crime like murder, Rick went silent. Turns out, Rick had killed someone when he was 8 years old. Later in a private interview, he admitted to killing 3 people total during his time in the favelas. He left his home young so his family wouldn't be targeted by his lifestyle. Obviously, his baptism is on hold while he seeks permission from the First Presidency, but it was a disturbing and only in Rio kind of day. Sorry, that's not supposed to be funny, but I can't not laugh. My sister sent me a letter about a missionary named Ricky R.G. A few points really stood out to me. The Golden Family. Ricky was teaching a perfect... Ricky R.G. Hickey R.G. Oh my gosh, that's what I called him. Sorry, guys. Ricky R.G. The Ricky R.G. letter. I totally forgot about that. The Golden Family. Ricky was teaching a perfect family who wouldn't fulfill commitments. He told them flat out that they didn't care enough and stopped teaching them. He explained that missionaries are here to harvest the crops that are white and ready, not to force the green ones that aren't ready yet. Fear is of the devil. Any feeling of fear or hesitation is just the devil trying to stop the work. And companion unity. Companions only get along when they are both doing what is wrong together or both doing what is right together. Conflict usually happens when one cares and the other doesn't. I realized recently that I wasn't ready to lead or train yet, and I've been humbled by my new district leader. Even though I like to joke around while I work, he has taught me a lot about focus. I also discovered my own prayer room. After returning from my second hospital trip, I felt discouraged. I went into a room in the church and offered a vocal prayer in English. The first time I'd spoken English in a long time. It was the most powerful prayer of my life. I stood up, grabbed my companion, and got right back to work. I've been reflecting on Helaman 5:12, a famous verse about building our foundation on the rock of the Redeemer, which is Christ. In Portuguese, the verse uses the form of the word edificar, to build. I spent some time looking into the deeper meaning of edify in the dictionary, and it is defined as to be morally perfected and fortified in virtue. Building ourselves in Christ isn't just about a solid foundation. It's about becoming morally perfected and fortified in our virtues through Him. Reading the Book of Mormon in a different language has given me these unique perspectives that I never noticed in English. I usually share spiritual insights in my emails, but I have a huge amount of stories from my mission that I haven't told yet. If you want to hear more about what life is like here, please email me and ask. To be honest, P-days can be difficult. It's the one day a week I allow myself to think about and miss home. And if I don't hear from anyone, it makes the day much harder. I truly want to talk with every one of you. I love you all. Keep living life, loving God, and staying in the scriptures. At the mais. Ciao, ciao. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I get frustrated to talk about the culture of the mission. That's one of the main things I actually fought a lot about with Elder F. That huge argument that one night, I'm pretty sure was all about that from last episode. Reality is, we just kind of butted heads on the fact that, he would get so mad that we didn't do the minimum standard, and I thought it was like, we were trying our best. But to be fair, it was the minimum, but I do love that I already had that right vision of the fact is, whether or not, as long as you're following the culture of your mission and doing what you were told to do as a missionary and what you were taught and what God has for you and what your purpose is in your mission. Reality is, mission is about the Lord's work. Places like Africa, missionaries baptize 25, and places like Europe, missionaries don't baptize any. And that does not mean they are not both incredible servants of God, because they are. Well, say Frank, I remember Frank, and I'm not going to spoil anything. He's pretty interesting. He's pretty cool. I do remember that moment of us sitting there, and he always had all this food prepared for us. He was amazing. He was super awesome. Eve, I'm unfortunately going to be honest with you guys, I don't genuinely remember her very well, but I do remember hearing stories like that, and I kind of vividly remember a girl. Don't know if it was Eve. I'm sure maybe I named her something else. Talking about that like it was normal, and it was definitely heartbreaking to hear. This Rick guy, yeah, that was horrifying. We tried to baptize him first on a Sunday, and the ward just canceled it because it was taking too long because he couldn't get all the way submerged. Like, there was attempts to literally put him under the water, and every time something would stay out of the water. And so then we went back on the activity night where the ward replanned his baptism. We went and tried again, and again, he could not get under that water out of fear or out of something, and we didn't know what. So then that's when my comp went and re-interviewed him, and I was in the room for some reason because it wasn't going to be a legit interview. It was just kind of like rehash the questions to make him feel more confident in himself because we felt bad that he was so scared of water. And that's when he told us, literally, and it was scary, guys. The spirit in that room, the spirit literally told us in our hearts, like, the second he went silent, that, like, yeah, he killed somebody, like, something's up. And so I only heard some of it. My comp was like, shoo, and I left. And then he told me later. He was not probably supposed to, but I mean, I was like his comp. I had to learn, right? I had to know something. I just knew already, and the sisters were freaking out, and they're asking us, what happened? Why is he not getting baptized? So I told him, I said it. All I said is, it's really bad. So I said, it's really bad. Don't even be mad. And they're like, really? I'm like, just don't. Yeah, definitely a disturbing and only in Rio kind of day. That's a perfect way to describe it. Now, the Ricciardi letters. That's an amazing letter, by the way. I might put like a link in the description if I can find it. I don't know if I have it anymore. I know my sister does. Incredible thing, okay? I think I learned so many good freaking lessons from the Ricciardi letters. I don't know what you call them. Incredible thing. If you guys can read it as a pre-missionary or going to be missionary or missionary, read it. It is the most life-changing thing you will ever freaking read. I love it with all my heart, and I actually want to read it right now just to go through it again. Amazing lessons in there, guys. Harvest the crops that are white and ready. That do not force the green ones that aren't ready. That's about life too. Come on, don't force the things that aren't going to come right now. Harvest the things you can harvest right now. Do what needs to be done right now that is available to you. And then this is something I've been striving to live by since till today, and I think I've done really well at remembering it. I know I need to consistently fight against it a little bit more, maybe. I don't know. I think there are sometimes I do fall into the trap slowly, but I've been catching myself a lot. That any feeling of fear or hesitation in general is literally the devil trying to stop the work. Now, hesitation, obviously, in doing good things. Hesitation doing bad things is not a good thing. But if you had an idea to do a good thing, and then you're hesitating and kind of talking yourself out of it, that probably means that's the devil, and you should have done it. Almost every time. And I promise you, the second I started just listening to every single random freaking thought and feeling I had to do something good, as long as I knew it was good, because good is from God, I did it. And when I started doing that on my mission, guys, that's when the miracles just started coming every single minute. It was just unbelievable, the things that we'd see, the things that would happen. It was amazing. And also, when you conquer fear, and that was a huge lesson for me to learn, especially right after what I had just gone through, probably cried my eyes out when I read that. The reality is that fear genuinely is of the devil, and it always will be, no matter what situation you're in, okay? So it's fun to be scared. That's a little bit different. Scary movies, oh, funny. But fear is of the devil. And that fear is fear for yourself, fear that you're not going to succeed, fear that you won't be able to provide, fear that you're not good enough, all the fears that hold you back. Fear, even stage fright, fear of performing your best, doing your best. Fear is the only thing that can get in your mental and just chalk you completely. It's the only thing that will throw you off till you just spiral. Okay, and I know that actually. Before the mission, when I was struggling pretty bad with a lot of things, fear is the only thing that brought me back down to where I felt like nothing. Okay. Fear is the only thing that can do that to you. So just know, and anytime you're afraid or you have fear of anything not working out, of fear of doing what you need to do, fear of talking to the big CEO, fear of talking to your professor about a test, fear of doing the test or doing good on the test, fear of the test, erase it. Throw it away. Pray that it goes away. Do anything you can to pull yourself closer to God and just fight the fear. And I promise you, if you can just be resilient and break down those walls of fear and just destroy it, that's when all the miracles are just going to start flooding in. And that confidence and that strength that you use to fight against the fear will only grow. And I promise you that. This is also very true. Companions only get along when they're both doing what is wrong or both doing what is right. They only fight when one wants what is right and one wants what is wrong. Okay, so try to figure out which is which. Love the part where I realize that my companion taught me a lot about focus. That's a huge blessing. And I'm so glad that I was able to see the positives and the negatives. I think I did really good at that in my mission. Even though it sometimes took a minute, I'd always end up seeing really the benefits of having a tough situation. And I thought really positively about it. I've noticed throughout reading these emails, I was way too positive. Like, right now, I don't know if I could even be that positive. Love the fact that in the Portuguese Book of Mormon and Bible in general, the words are just different that they use, right? And they mean so many different things, and it's just beautiful. So literally, to edify yourself. So it's not, I think I say that till today, but you don't build yourself on the rock of the Redeemer. You edify yourself on it. And edifying is to be morally perfected and fortified in virtue. Like, that's beautiful. So edify yourself upon Christ. Be morally perfected in Christ and fortified in virtue through Christ. Beautiful, guys. Like, if that doesn't hit way, like 18 times harder than being built upon Christ, I mean, what else is there? That's just awesome. Awesome. And in the end, guys, that's pretty much all I have to talk about today. I did want to mention one of the things that I'm so grateful for, and I'm going to just end it, I think, on this. I know that nobody watches these, and that's okay. But these little podcasts or videos, or whatever you want to call them, as random and kind of strange as they might be, are such a big blessing in my life. And I'm so grateful I had the idea and I just did it. Because the reality is, I mean, look at this excitement from Elder Barnes to share these stories, to talk about his things he's learned. Listen, feel the passion. I usually share spiritual insights in my emails, but I have a huge amount of stories from the mission that I haven't told yet. If you want to hear more about what life is like here, please email me and ask. To be honest, P-days can be difficult. It's the one day a week I have to allow myself to think about home and miss home. If I don't hear from anyone, it makes my day much harder. I truly want to talk with every one of you. I love you all. Keep living life, loving God, and staying in the scriptures. There's a passion there and a genuine request for communication, connection, to share these stories, to share the lessons, even more than what I had already written or what I had already talked about, which was like 30 minutes of audio. And this isn't supposed to make anyone feel bad. On the mission, I hardly got emails, and I begged for them every single week. I got messages and calls with my parents, which is a huge blessing. Emails from some relatives once a year. I got a good amount of emails from my aunt. I got lots of emails from an old friend. I got some emails from a really good friend that really proved to me that he was my friend. And that's about it. Some other emails from an old buddy from home. But it wasn't every week. I get one of those emails from one of them like every once in a while. I mean, up until the last 6 months of my mission, I think I hardly talked to anyone. And I was asking for it. I was asking to share this with anyone, somebody. Thank you for letting me do this, for being here with me on this journey, and for watching and listening to every word. I know I'm kind of weird and I look like a total bag of rocks every time I turn on this camera. But I love this. This is truly, I believe, what Elder Barnes would have wanted while he was on his mission. So if you can, please share the stories, share this video, share the channel name, share the phrase. Just go, please tell somebody to never, ever, ever forget that they do in fact have potential for prosperity. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening.